Yeah, good morning. And it is my great pleasure to welcome our honored guests, alumni, faculty, and staff to the celebration of the 30th anniversary of the Communication Sciences Institute. And I think, as we all agree, CSI is a place with a great history that has shaped many aspects of communications over the years. And I'm convinced that it also has a very great future ahead of it. And so we were thinking about what would be a suitable way to celebrate this anniversary. And we concluded that since this is a scientific conference, would be the most fitting way for a place that, after all, defines itself by its scientific outlook. But I think equally importantly, this event here is the possibility for alumni and friends to reconnect and for new friendships and collaborations to be formed. And so we have plenty of breaks, which I think are as important as the technical talks that are going to be given, and of course our big dinner this evening. And so I hope that all of this is going to be not only instructive, but also very entertaining for everybody who's here. And I would especially like to take this opportunity to thank all the people who made this event possible. Our organizing committee with Uli Mitra, Bob Schultz, Keith Chuck, Giuseppe Cairo, Todd Brown, Alan Wilner, and special thanks to Jerry Ramos and Anita Fan, who've really worked so many countless hours in the preparation and run-up of this. And also a lot of thanks to our students who volunteered for helping in the organization and to contribute to this event. And I would also like to express our thanks to our sponsors, Raytheon, Interdigital, Aerospace Corporation, NTT Docomo, Quantenna Communications, and Trellisware, as well as the Ming Shea Institute and the Viterbi Innovation Fund. It was their generosity that made a lot of the program and the breaks here possible. And to briefly dwell on administrative things, you've already seen in our program that lunch will be provided on both of the days, and it will be in conjunction with the poster sessions. So please feel free to look around and engage our poster presenters in the discussions. And please also vote for the posters that you think is the best one. We are having a competition going on, so it would be great if you could express your views there. And today, after the end of the historical retrospective, we will have a reception for about 1 hour, and then the dinner at 6:30. And now, without further ado, I'd like to hand over the microphone to our dean, Jens Sortes, who has kindly agreed to give a welcome speech and introduce today's keynote speaker.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome you to the 30th anniversary conference and celebration of our very renowned Communication Science Institute. Echoing Andy, I would also like to thank the organizing committee and our sponsors who were pivotal for making this conference and this event happening. And so thank you so much. I'm also particularly pleased that in this conference we'll be attending later this afternoon one of our alums, J. Roberto De Marca, who was recently elected as the 2014 IEEE President. Roberto is a former master's and PhD student from Bob Schultz group. So we'll have the opportunity to meet him later this afternoon. We're very proud of him representing USC really as president of IEEE. Today we have some very interesting numbers to ponder, which sort of is consistent with a mathematical emphasis of the Institute. I will start with an astronomical number, which is 140 million as in miles. I understand this is the average distance to Mars. My speechwriter said it's 100 million miles. So I checked it up. And actually it's not 100 million miles, but the distance changes all the time because the Earth and the Mars are not in the same position all the time. So we'll call it the average distance. And this is from where crystal clear pictures come to us, courtesy and as a result of research that has been done here at CSI. From the architectural design of the NASA Space Shuttle radar to enabling the clear transmission of video images, CSI advances have permeated our planet and beyond. CSI was a pioneer in the conversion from analog to digital signals, the evolution from single links of communication to networks and modern wireless networks. And today, CSI is on the vanguard of new domains, from quantum computing to wireless health. We expect wonderful new advances and achievements from CSI in the future. Another important number is not astronomical, it's 50. It's the years since Andy Viterbi wrote his PhD thesis here at USC. It also marks the span of time of Saul Golan's magnificent career here at USC. And I should mention also that Bob Schultz, who joined USC in 1963, will be celebrating 50 years at USC next year. We're looking forward to that, Bob. Important other number is 40. In a year that we celebrate a number of 40-year anniversaries here in the School of Engineering, for example, our distance education network, then at Viterbi, is 40 years old. With the current debate and publicity in the media about distance learning and MOOCs and so on and so forth, USC Engineering has been in the area of distance learning for 40 years. So this is something that we should not lose track of. And we are continuing providing very excellent distance education, particularly at the master's and professional programs. The USC Information Science Institute, ISI, celebrated 40 years this year. And on Sunday, I think we are going to have another celebration of a 40-year anniversary of our Signal and Image Processing Institute, or SIPI. So 40 is an interesting number for us this year. In this context, CSI, celebrating only 30 years, is the young kid of the block, so to speak. Not quite middle-aged. 30 is the anniversary year of CSI, which was formed in 1982. And I venture to say that the 30 years of CSI have made the school the powerhouse that it is today. And I'm very proud and humble to be able to help celebrate this anniversary. CSI faculty conducted the basic research behind the signals that are used in the GPS system and CDMA cell phones, as we very well know, decades before the systems were conceived. Error correction codes that now protect every CD were viewed by many as a mathematical curiosity when they were originally developed by CSI faculty, but now they find very widespread use. Research conducted at CSI in the late 1990s already forms the basis of several advanced US military modems. Similarly, signature sequences now used for the 3G cellular communication standards are those developed at CSI just a few years before those standards were adopted by the Standards Committee. We have another important number, 7.5. So this is not an integer. 7.5 are the years that Sandy Sochak has served as chairman of EE Systems, the New State Department of Electrical Engineering Systems. Sandy has announced that he's going to step down at the end of this semester, and it is with sort of great reluctance that I have accepted that, but I wanted to mention that he has contributed immensely to the EE Systems program here at USC, and we will miss his leadership tremendously. Hopefully we'll be able to call upon him sometime in the not too distant future to serve again in some other capacity. So we will have an event to celebrate Sandy's tenure as department chairman, perhaps sometime in the spring, but just wanted to make sure that you know that this is another important number for us. And thank you, Sandy, for your service. Coming a little down, 7 is the magnificent 7. CSI has been a major force in the building of the reputation and growth of the USC Viterbi School of Engineering, but these were a magnificent 7 founders: Bob Gagliardi, Saul Gallon, Bill Lindsay, Irv Reed, Bob Saltz, Chuck Weber, and Lloyd Wells. These are names that are getting, if you like, a very historical value, and they will become known in history as pioneers in the founding of the communication sciences. And they have a registry of accolades and honors that would subsume my entire welcome if I properly listed them. In that same vein, I would like to recognize our other CSI faculty who are now carrying the torch, and that number, from what Sandy tells me, is 15, so I should have mentioned it a little bit earlier. But they're building their own history within CSI. And in another several years, I suspect, many of them will be regarded with the same esteem and adulation as the original founders. When CSI was formed, communications had a very specific meaning related to information science. Today, communications also refer to digital media and journalism and so on and so forth. Well, heck, most of the USC football players actually major in communications, if you look at their background. Now, I know that Saul loves football, but this is stretching it a little bit. But on a more serious note, we are working with the Annenberg School of Communication to form a partnership that connects data to context and to bridge the two disciplines, particularly in educational programs. So hopefully we'll be able to announce an initiative in this area within the next year or so. Finally, I come to my last number, which is 1, and that is Andy Viterbi. Andy is number 1 in our hearts and our gratitude. And I hasten to add our very first speaker of the day. So let me introduce Andy. It's my privilege and my honor. Andy Viterbi is co-founder and retired vice chairman and chief technical officer of Qualcomm Incorporated. He spent equal portions of his career in the industry and in academia, currently being the president of the Viterbi Group, technical advisory and investment company. I will not mention his other academic appointments, because I don't want to, but he holds a presidential chair at USC, and that's why I'll mention that one. And a distinguished visiting professorship at the Technion Israel Institute of Technology. We have a great partnership with Technion, no problem there. We all know, of course, the Viterbi algorithm used in most digital mobile phones and digital satellite receivers, as well as in such diverse fields as magnetic recording, voice recognition, and DNA sequence analysis. Most recently, Andy has concentrated his efforts on establishing CDMA as the multiple access technology of choice for cellular telephony and wireless data communications. There is a big paragraph here of his honors and awards. So I know Andy doesn't want me to go through all that, but I should mention a few things. He has received 7 honorary doctorates from universities in Canada, Cyprus, we know who's behind that, Israel, Italy, and the United States. He has received the Marconi International Fellowship Award, the IEEE Alexander Graham Bell, the Claude Shannon, and James Clerk Maxwell Awards. The Christopher Columbus Medal, the Franklin Medal, the Millennium Laureate Award in Finland. Actually, I was present to that particular award. It was a very memorable moment. And the IEEE's highest award, the Medal of Honor. As you know, Andy is a member of the National Academy of Engineering, the National Academy of Sciences, and also he's a fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. He has received an honorary title from the President of Italy, but most importantly, he has received the National Medal of Science from the President of the United States. So it is our great honor and pleasure to welcome back to the school our alum, our school's namesake, and our friend and mentor, Dr. Andy Viterbi.